Orale homies, welcome back to another Dirtbag review. So anyway, for you today, I got a little bit of a talk real quick. But before I get into it, I just want to point out a couple of new things on the set. They were gifts from Australia. We got the kangaroo on the loo, or roo on the loo. And then we got our little Aussie flag hugging koala. Alright, and then we also got a little TIE fighter that a homie hooked me up with. Alright, so anyway, that being said, let's get into the quick description before we get into the actual clip. So anyway, the Cold War was a big thing in the United States. A lot of fears of nuclear annihilation or invasion by the Soviet Union, and didn't get much better once we got to the Cuban Missile Crisis back in the 60s. So anyway, so all this boiled up till the 1980s, and it led to one of the coolest movies I ever seen of what if scenario, So without any further ado, let me go ahead and play you this clip, homies, and then we'll talk about it as soon as it's over, right? Orale, homes. See you on the flip side.
East Coast. Down here is Mexico. First wave of the attack came in disguised as commercial and charter flights, same way they did in Afghanistan in '80. Only they were crack airborne outfits. They took these passes in the Rockies.
So that's what hit Calumet?
I guess so. They coordinated with selective nuke strikes, and the missiles were a hell of a lot more accurate than we thought. They took out the silos here in the Dakotas, key points of communication.
Like what?
Oh, like Omaha, Washington, Kansas City.
Gone?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that's right. Filtrators came up illegal from Mexico. Cubans, mostly. They managed to infiltrate SAC bases in the Midwest, several down in Texas, and wreaked a hell of a lot of havoc. I'm here to tell you. They opened up the door down here. The whole Cuban and Nicaraguan armies come walking right through, roll right up here through the Great Plains.
How far did they get?
Cheyenne, across to Kansas. We held them at the Rockies and at the Mississippi. Anyway, the Russians reinforced with 60 divisions. Sent 3 whole army groups across the Bering Strait into Alaska, cut the pipeline, came across Canada, to link up here in the middle, but we stopped their butt cold. Lines have pretty much stabilized now.
What about Europe?
I guess they figured twice in 1 century was enough. They're sitting this one out. All except England. They won't last very long. The Russians need to take us in one piece, and that's why they're here now. That's why they won't use nukes anymore, and we won't either, not on our own soil. The whole damn thing's pretty conventional now. Who knows, maybe next week will be swords.
What started it?
I don't know, 2 toughest kids on the block, I guess. Sooner or later, they're gonna fight.
That's simple.
Maybe somebody just forgot what it was like.
Well, who is on our side?
600 million screaming Chinamen.
Well, last I heard, there were 1 billion screaming Chinamen.
There were.
Alright, so as you can see, we're talking about Red Dawn from 1984, directed by John Milius, starring Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen as the brothers Jed and Matt, C. Thomas Howell as Robert, Leah Thompson as Erica, Jennifer Grey as Tony, and Powers Booth as the jet fighter pilot, Colonel Andy. I can't remember his last name. But anyway, yeah, so this movie is pretty sick. It came out in 1984, back, good year for it, right? Back when before, the fall of the Soviet Union, it was still heavily anticipated that something might happen, because the Cold War tensions were always pretty high, But anyway, in this scenario, a small Colorado town is invaded by Russian, Soviet, and Cuban paratroopers, you know, and they quickly started basically killing a bunch of kids at the school and taking over the town, you know. And apparently they have taken over a big swath of the United States, but all the way to California. So it's kind of split down the middle, you know, and if you go east, it was a free U.S. free land, you know, but in the land where these people were, they were right smack dab in the middle of occupied territory, you know. So when Jed found out what was going on, he went and picked up his brother, and a bunch of kids jumped in the back of the truck, and they headed out into the mountains, you know, because these guys, well, they know their surroundings. Plus, Jed and Matt had grown up hunting and, you know, living the life with their dad and stuff, you know, so they started teaching some of the kids that came along with them, particularly Robert, how to survive up in the mountains, you know. But as time goes on, their crew became a little bit bigger, you know, because they were getting people to come join and stuff. And then they started actually taking the fight to the Russians and Cubans, you know. So they were doing raids and attacking them and setting people free, you know. And it all, like, you know, pretty much started with the execution of these boys' parents, you know. So, you know, they fought for their country, they fought for their hometown, they fought for their fellow people, you know, but they lost a little bit of their own souls along the way, you know, because they started doing some bad stuff themselves, you know. But anyway, ultimately, you know, it started getting tough. They started catching their scent, you know. So they had somebody's driving by. My bad, homies. So anyway, they basically had to call it quits, you know, because it was already kind of getting to the game over scenario. And unfortunately, this movie does not have a happy ending. I will not spoil it for you. Well, it does kind of actually do later on down the line, you know. Immediate sadness, overall victory, you know. But it's just a really cool idea, cool story. I mean, nowadays it kind of seems absurd that it would ever have happened. But, I mean, I'm sure at the time, especially when this movie was made, people were really actually worried about it, you know. So, anyway, it's definitely worth a watch. It's way better than any remake they ever made. Not that they ever made one, because there's only one Red Dawn, and it's 1984. Don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise, homies. This is where it's at. And Hollywood, if you could stop making remakes of movies and just come up with new ideas, that'd be awesome, homie. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This one was kind of short and sweet, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about this movie. Let me know what you think. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave me a comment down below because it helps me in the algorithm, you know. And also, please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know, it just takes you a little hit of a button, homies, and, you know, you can make my day. And also, share with your friends, because sharing is caring. Maybe they might find this entertaining too, you know, or maybe they want to see some of the gun stuff I've done, or some of the motorcycle stuff I've done, or, you know, even the painting tutorials, you know. And I also got another project coming up, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content, all right? But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I was watching Firme, homes.